So everyone's taking care of the kids, and I was the oldest cousin at my grandmother's house. So as the oldest cousin, you help and take care of all the other little kids. And even at like family parties, all the aunts and uncles would shove their kids on me. And so I would be the one helping take care of them. It went into high school. And then when I was in high school, you only have to be 18 to start working in early childhood education. So I started part-time as an infant teacher in early childhood education. This is why I'm really big on early childhood education and how important early childhood education is. That's what got me started. In a way, I always wanted to be an educator. Like I was in 5th grade. I was like, I want to be a teacher. And
which is wild in 5th grade.
Yeah, in 5th grade. And then my junior year of high school, I went to an education summer camp, which is basically for future educators. And I definitely had the mentality during that summer camp because I was naive. I was like, fuck them kids after the summer camp. And so I went to school actually for my degrees in biology. So you'll hear me tap that around too. Because I still wanted to work with kids, but I didn't know if I wanted to be an educator anymore, but I wanted to help kids feel better and help them. So I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician, but as I was doing that throughout college, I was still working in early childhood education as an educator. And during CVID, I was still in college. I was pushed into full-time because all the other teachers got basically furloughed, and I was made an essential worker, and I went to full-time teaching, and I was teaching the oldest age group. I was teaching the preschoolers, which all you need is a CDA to do. And so as I was getting my bachelor's in biology, that's where my heart stood. And then in that year during CVID, I met a child. I'm not going to give out his name because FERPA.
Yeah, exactly.
But he changed that child changed the trajectory of my pathway for education, because I recognized the racism he was experiencing, especially at the hands of white teachers. I was working at administration at the time, and I was called back into the classroom. They said, "Hey, we need you to help get this classroom under control." I'm really good at classroom management. That's one of my top skills.
Right.
So they asked me to come back to the classroom. The second I stepped in the classroom, this kid swung. I was like, "Whoa, buddy!"
Did you go weave?
It wasn't at me. It was at another kid.
Oh, okay.
Whoa, buddy!
Ooh.
I'm like, "What's going on there?" And he said, and this is a 4-year-old. He said, "Because I'm bad." And I said, "I never want to hear that come out of your mouth about yourself again. You are not bad. We just don't make good choices all the time. Sometimes Miss Ari doesn't make good choices, but we can make better choices next time. But never say that about yourself." And I had to realize he heard that somewhere. Someone told him that, and he internalized it. And it was affecting his behavior in the classroom. It did not help that my director at the time was also further isolating him in the class. They forced him at lunch to sit by himself. And they were saying it's for the protection of the other kids. And I was like, and obviously you can't fight with your boss all the time. So, okay, I'm going to sit with him. So me and him became best friends at lunch. And we talked and we chatted and we made sitting together really fun. And I would remind him all the time, because it takes time to let children know that they are safe after they've been harmed for so long. And I kept telling him, every time you feel the need to swing and defend yourself, because that's what it was, he felt the need to constantly defend himself. Now he was alone. Every time you feel that need, come tell me. It's Miss Ari's job to protect you, right? And I will come help protect you. And finally, after enough repetitions, it happened. He came to me looking for help. Miss Ari, someone's bothering me. I gotcha, buddy. And I went to the other kids and we had a chat. And he felt safe enough to come to me. And so it was recognizing that that was really important to me. And then my director saw his behavior change. They're like, "Okay, we're going to move him up to the next grade." I was like, he's not ready yet. He's not ready to move up to the 5-year-olds yet.
Right.
Because preschool is 4 to 5. You can separate the classrooms. And I was like, he's not ready yet. Please don't take him from me. He's not ready. And she was like, "We're moving him up anyway." I tried to talk to the teacher above me, who was a very racist white woman teacher. She, to let you know her racism, she thought the Shakira J-Lo Super Bowl was too Latino for an American football game.
I'm
Yeah.
sure she probably lost her mind seeing Bad Bunny.
Oh yeah, no, me and her.
They're up here not speaking American. Why we need someone speaking American?
Yeah, me and her was going to duke it up during that because she was saying that in the lunchroom. I was like, all right. But definitely not in front of the kids. But nah, it was, and so that gives you the background of who she was as an educator. So I wanted to meet with her. I was like, listen, I want to talk to you about best ways to support him because he's doing so well. I want to keep him on track. She's like, no, I got it. She was also the type of teacher who pre-labels a child before they come in the room. So she had pre-labeled him bad.
Right.
And so when he entered his room, about 2 weeks later, he had harmed another child. And so he was back into his old ways. It takes that short of time. And so I decided this is what I wanted to do.
I think that's something that can't be like highlighted enough. And the reason why I say that is because I've said this over and over and over. Like I've said this a lot. Like I think you have to have not only a certain temperament in order to be able to like teach young kids, but you have to have that passion, that drive, and like that actual ability. Something I know that I want to do, like once I actually retire, is I want to go back and I want to teach some college classes at my undergrad, my alma mater, which is a HBCU. But I know that I only want to be able to deal with like quote unquote adults. I can't like deal with kids. And so for you to not only parlay your passion into shaping the minds and hearts of the future generation, but for you to specifically like see some child that's in crisis, that needs help, that needs you, and for you to push forward through their walls and barriers, because obviously, you know, the child had walls and barriers because of everything they had been through, and like you to push through it and get to it, that's absolutely amazing. But man, that's so heartbreaking to hear like how easily like once we have one person that cares and they're doing all this thing and you put in so much energy and effort to help reshape the child, and then immediately it's undone because people don't care as much as you do. Like that's crushing to hear that.
Yeah, so like I'm fighting back the tears right now because it still breaks my heart because every day I wonder how he's doing. And this is why it's also so important that parents work with your educators, like please, because I did ask for support from his mother and she told me, oh, his dad's in prison. So I'm like, ma'am, prison's not hereditary. It's not hereditary. So it's so important that so what I do now is I teach teachers not to be racist. I run a program where we start teachers as early as early childhood educators, like I used to work in, and we're building career pipelines all the way into primary school. And we're giving them foundations that from the jump that they have anti-racism education and what that looks like. So people like that child don't ever experience that again. And one of the things that we talk about too is going to basically Afrocentric styles of it takes a village to raise a child. And that means teachers, educators, parents, community, we all collectively need to work together to uplift these kids. It's not just teachers, it's not just parents, it's us together. So we're all in efforts to support kids.
Yeah. Like it takes a village. I think that's something that's been lost, especially because of how like the education system has been targeted here within the United States. And it's funny because people always talk about like, well, why can't we have this, or why can't we do this, or why do we need other people? It's because we don't invest in education. Like we have no actual desire to invest in education within our country. And it's mind blowing. And even more so, like other people don't care about other people's kids, right? They may care about their kids, but they don't care about other people's kids. And so those things go hand in hand, and it's like absolutely mind blowing. So the fact that you're willing to like be someone who's actively fighting back against that while also being online and doing what you do, like that just gave me a new level of perspective. Okay, so before we go any further, I do want to say, guys, please, we are here with Ari and we appreciate Ari. So let's make sure that we are showing Ari that appreciation. Let's make sure that we are gifting Ari. Can we please get her coins up? She's at 51,000 right now. Can we get her over 6,000 coins? Please make sure that you give her a follow. And I know that we have her pay links running in the poll in the bio. drop her some love. Just, you know, get her a cup of coffee, tell her a dad joke or something, but drop something in the pay links. Make sure that we are appreciating Ari while we have her up here, because this is a pleasure. All right, let's shift gears for a second, Ari. The actual, the most interesting things that I've heard you speak on is when you are in the thralls of debating a misogynist, right? Some man that comes up and who wants to challenge you on things that he not only knows nothing about, but leads with emotion, right? And I've seen you become a sniper and like dismantle not only the conversation, but also like the individual that you're speaking to. So the question I have is like, one, how did you actually learn to deal with those type of people? And two, what keeps you like so locked in and you don't get caught up on, because we know that they like to rage bait. People like that only want to go for like the rage and they want to get you out of your mindset. So how have you learned to deal with those type of people, and what keeps you so focused while dealing with them?
Really the goal is, I like pointing out the hypocrisy of things. Like there's so much hypocrisy within the patriarchy. It's laughable, right? And that's why I'm known for laughing at because I honestly, but the hypocrisy is so bad, and if you don't laugh, you'll cry. So I just choose to laugh about it. That for me, it's pointing out that very similar to racism, that Black people have to work 10 times harder to be in space. So if you're a white person, a Black person next to you had to work 10 times harder to get there. I'm doing that for women, especially Black women. That woman next to you has to work 10 times harder, and she's probably still getting paid less than you. And it's infuriating, right? And what I don't want either, and what keeps me going around like when this happens, is always goes back to the kids for me. Like I'm not a parent yet, but I am family planning and I do want to become a mother. And I don't ever want my child to experience the things I've experienced or seen the things I've seen. And so like people have said it about, like, shout out to Swan. Swan has a Black mother's love. A Black mother's love is so strong, and my kids aren't even here yet. And that's how strongly I feel about this stuff, that I want this gone by like tomorrow. So I'm gonna do what needs to be done
tomorrow, today. Like we need that packed up and gone today.
Goodbye. I need it gone. I do like and how bad it's getting. Like in my book club, I run a book club. We just read this book called The New Age Sexism by Laura Bates. Amazing read, super important to read. And it's also showing like everything that just recently happened on X with the children and all that stuff and the AI. She was talking about it 2 years ago. So I need to address these things. These things need to be called out. They need to be addressed. And I'm encouraging people, one, to unpack, encouraging people to read, because that's why one of the biggest things I talk about is like, sometimes if I'm over and out, I'm like, when was the last book you read? And if you can't tell me it was in high school, don't talk to me no more.
They never have an answer. They never have an answer.
Never have an answer. So it's the hyper focus on I want this gone. There's a mission bigger than me. I want a better future for children. It's about the principle of the matter. And I'm going to point out the inconsistencies and the hypocrisy, especially for women, because I want women to recognize their power. For the femmes, theys, and thems, you are so much stronger than what the patriarchy tells you to be. I've been there. I've had to go through that where I felt like I was only my body. And goes back to the beginning of when you asked me that question. I literally got to the low of, I thought I was only worth my body, and that only people saw me was my value in my body. And I don't ever want femmes and theys, thems to ever feel that way either. And so I want to show them that they're worth. The patriarchy is a bunch of honky doody. It's bullshit. And you don't have to believe anything in it, even for the men. Like people believe feminism doesn't benefit men. It absolutely fucking does.
Yeah.
You just gotta learn how to love yourself.
Yeah. Let's talk about that a little bit more for a second, because I've had that conversation, and I get called a simp, right, when I talk about dismantling the patriarchy, and I understand like the massive amount of harm that it causes everyone, right? And so many people push back on the premise that like, oh, you know, the patriarchy has nothing to do with how we function in society today. It's 2026, right? And women can do everything that men can do. Well, kind of, because they're not as strong. So since they can't be as strong, then they can't do everything, but they can do anything. Like, can we dig into that just for a second? Why are so many people, and because it's not just men, right? The thing that blows my mind is when women do it, right? Like when women just automatically they dive into the internalized misogyny, and they say, well, we don't need a woman leader, like women can be emotional, or like I don't think that, you know, women can do this or that or whatever. Like it blows my mind when that happens. But why is that something that even today is still so interwove into who we are as a society, so much so that people are just accepting it, including people that are being overwhelmingly harmed by it?
Yeah, because a lot of people don't recognize how deeply ingrained misogyny is into our everyday factors, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before there was even racism, there was patriarchy. And I'm one of the biggest arguers that patriarchy actually gave the stepping stones for white supremacy and how racism was structured. Very similar ways in terms of how racism, and how patriarchy was spread through the Abrahamic religions. We see very similar patterns happen with racism. And so it's just so easily forgettable in the back of people's minds, because people are so quick to recognize that the N-word's a slur.
Mm-hmm.
But how many of you guys still regularly say bitch?
Oh, listen. I had to take that out of my lexicon, and I didn't know, right? Listen, heavy on the B word. I used to, and not towards women, right? I've never called a woman that, but one of my favorite things used to be to call like men the B word, right? And one day my wife, and I was doing it online, and my wife was like, hey, you should stop saying that so much. And I was like, okay. And, you know, we'll bring it down to one a day. And so I was like, I get one a day, right? But then she like really broke down to me how harmful that is, and why I shouldn't be doing it. And I was like, oh man, I did not realize that. And so ever since then, it's something that I try to make sure that I don't do. I'm not perfect. Like I've slipped up a couple of times and I've had to catch myself, and I immediately apologize. Like I'll get riled up, and especially when like these, you know, fragile men, and I just like, nah. But I think that a lot of people don't understand that, to your point, because you can easily identify, oh, we're not supposed to say the N word, we're not supposed to say the R word, but they don't see that as the same because they don't understand the amount of overwhelming harm that it causes. Like, how do you make sure that you get that across? Because you know some people are going to say, oh, you're just being too sensitive, you're just too woke, you're like, how do you get that across to the people who are not really receptive to hearing that?
Yeah, because I asked them, like, it is, how often do you say bitch? How often do you say cunt? These are all dehumanizing words. Also, these were words that got women lobotomized, institutionalized, unalived, especially Black women, right? So to act as though these are not slurs, right? Harm towards women and children, non-men, is extremely normalized. We just have the Epstein files, right? And there is nothing that's going to come about it. And what's more upsetting about those files that I really want people to reflect on is harm towards women and children was not enough for people, right?
Yep.
It's not, because people are still looking through those files because they want something more. Assault, sexual violence is not bad enough for you. You're like, I need something more salacious. I need money laundering or all these other things. And like this big Illuminati things. Sexual violence towards women and children is not enough for you. Can we like sit down and pause for a second, reflect on that? And that shows how disrespected women and children are in this gendered hierarchy, right? The Epstein files is not enough for y'all. You do not care about the harm that was done onto women and children in those files. Y'all just brushed past that and went to something that you thought was going to be more salacious.
Yeah, I agree. And not only that, but like, it's interesting how people can speak with a sense of, I don't even want to call it duality. Like they just contradict themselves, right? And they talk about how like, oh, I want to protect women, I want to protect children, and the reason how we do that is keep men out of women's spaces, and you know, all this other weird stuff. But then at the same time, not only engage in that type of hurt and harm, but just turn a blind eye when there are women saying, hey, this person has harmed me. Hey, this person is impacting me negatively. Or even something as simple as like, hey, the word that you're saying is negatively impacting women. And they are so adverse to even being receptive to that. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. And it has to be frustrating, not only being someone that's directly impacted by that, but someone who's actively fighting against it.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's super annoying. I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's why I laugh at it. Because again, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. It is extremely annoying. But I always just call it out. I'm like, you don't care.
Yeah.
You don't care about women. No. You don't actually care because you don't actually care to unpack your misogyny. You don't care to unpack what masculinity is. You don't even care to unpack gender. Shocker, guys, newsflash, I'm a gender abolitionist. I think gender is a silly category. We do not need it because literally all gender was created to do was be able to point out the people to harm and people not to harm. People who are granted privileges, people who are not to granted privileges. If we take those things away, gender has no need to exist.
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, it's pointing out that as long as masculinity exists in itself, harm is going to be produced. It's a contradiction. You're not protecting anybody, right? The privileges granted to you disenfranchise and subjugate women. They open them up to financial abuse, to sexual violence, to emotional violence, to all these things, right? So to act as though, I'm this great protector. I just always point out the hypocrisy. You ain't protecting shit, bruh.
Yeah.
Unless you protect them from that gender wage gap. No, the fuck you not.
Yeah. I think that so many men have like an inflated view of self without trying to unpack the things that make up this actual view of self. It's super interesting. Okay, I kind of want to shift gears again a little bit, right? And wait, how much? I know we started a few minutes late, but how much more time do you have?
I got till 2 on my time, so 3 years.
Wait, what time is it for you right now?
Are you on East Coast? Because
No.
in Central.
I'm on the West Coast.
Okay, never mind. So it is 12:45 here. I have till 2.
Okay, perfect. All right, so I want to kind of move this around just a little bit, and I want to know, like, how do you move forward, right? And not just in the sense of like what you're doing online and what you're passionate about offline, but like the society that we live in today, it's supposed to be a space and a place where we're continuing to progress and being better than, you know, our parents and our grandparents and things like that. But something that I call out today, or I call out, is that like women today have less rights than, you know, their parents did, right? And so how do you not only move forward in a society that continues to try to marginalize and disenfranchise you and what you stand for and people that you advocate for, but at the same time trying to take even more away? Because listen, I don't know if you saw The Handmaid's Tale. I'm sure you probably read the book, but like it seems like a lot of people heavy on that. So like, what do you do?
Okay, I'll show you guys what I do. I'm Puerto Rican. That's it. I'm Puerto Rican. And Puerto Ricans, if you guys know anything about my island, one, I'm super proud. That's why I always got something by me. I got my necklace. I got my flag, right? And you guys saw through the Super Bowl, Puerto Ricans are resilient as fuck. Resilient through Luma, rolling blackouts, colonization. Puerto Ricans have resisted and persisted. We had our hands cut off by the Spaniards when they first came to us, because I am Taína, right? Because we weren't picking enough gold. And then the United States obtained Puerto Rico after the Spanish-American War. And we have been sterilized. We have been tested on, bombed, all these things that people do not recognize. We have been silenced. This is why you see Puerto Ricans so proud with their flag. That's why Bad Bunny had the flag. We were not allowed to raise our flag. We were not allowed to raise our songs. So just existing as a Boricua is resistance in itself. And I remind myself all the time. I remind myself of Pedro Albizu's Campos, right? People don't know about him. There's a reason the United States don't talk about him, because basically he was our Puerto Rican Malcolm X, right? He was, and the U.S. government took him out too.
Yeah.
And actually through a really violent way as well. And so I always keep that in my mind, that I want children to be free. I want mi isla to be free. And getting down to those roots of resistance, of Afro-Latino resistance, Black resistance on the island, and how that has persisted even to modern day. And y'all don't recognize how recent Puerto Rican resistance was. Like, my grandmother remembers the Ponce Massacre and Pedro Albizu Campos. And she's still with us.
You know, and that's what's so interesting. A lot of people don't understand that, like, history isn't so distant, right? A lot of people like to think about some of the atrocities that have been committed, especially by, colonization, especially by what America has done to, Black, brown people, like all across the globe. And they like to pretend that it's like some type of far off past, some type of like disconnected thing. And they don't want to think that, like, not only is it not something that's, just gone away, but it's literally something where, if they go upstairs in their attic and start to rummage through their grandparents' stuff, they'll be able to find pictures of their grandparents doing the stuff, right? The history, and they just want to separate themselves. I think that's always so important to make sure that we continue to talk about that, because understanding not only the history of who we are as a people, but the different struggles that different groups have had to persist and thrive through. It gives me an understanding as far as, like, things are bad today, but it's not the first time that it's been bad, and we're not the first group of people that have to get through this. And so, like, you saying that just really reminded me that, like, we can keep fighting.
Yeah, I have no choice. For me, I feel like it's either I'm fighting for my freedom, or they just gonna take me out. I don't got a choice for it, right? Because I refuse to lay down. It's a generations of resistance.
Yep. Absolutely. Okay, so speaking of fighting, CADRE. Let's talk about it. So CADRE is what I know for a fact fighting looks like, at least today in this space that we have. I think it's something that's super important when it comes to people understanding, like, the thing that I love about, like, social media as a whole is how small it makes the world and how connected we could be, right? Like, you're on one coast, I'm on the other coast, but we're sitting here talking like we're in the same room together, right? CADRE, the digital vanguard, tell us more about your role within CADRE.
So basically, I play the role as an educator, same role that you guys see me on every day. Basically, but helping with nuance around books, because I already run book club. So helping people find direction, of obviously dismantling white supremacist, misogynistic talking points like I already do, but really helping centering around education, because that's what we need for class consciousness. That's how we, as some people don't like, we wake people up, is giving them the tools and the foundations and understanding of what's happening in their reality. Because right now, a lot of people unfortunately have a veil up, right? And that was intentionally designed to have that veil up. But then when we start divulging information, like, all these tools are accessible to you. It's through a book, right? And start giving them those foundations around literacy. That's why I come in, right? I come in to start introducing people to books, literacy, and this is how we spread class consciousness, basically.
Yeah. I think that's something that's absolutely needed and absolutely necessary. So we've already talked about how like people don't read, right? And education is underfunded. It's not popular. But you're being tasked with spreading that as a part of CADRE. What's your first step? Like how are you targeting people, and what can we do to help?
Yeah, so one major thing is you learn so much as an educator who works with kids, right? And part of unpacking the hierarchies of patriarchy is recognizing that kids are a part of that hierarchy and we have them at a lower tier. And so once you start recognizing and giving children their humanity and seeing them as just a more naive human, you start to learn a lot of lessons from kids. And what I learned from kids is how to address reading trauma. I call it reading trauma, and that's done by our education system. I think our education system has done a very intentional job of harming people and discouraging people from reading because of how it's forced on you and what is forced on you to read. And people do not connect with literacy. The foundations of learning are play. The foundations of learning are joy. Learning is supposed to be fun, guys. Shocker, right? It is.
Which is why when you were like, oh, in 5th grade, I wanted to be a teacher. I know in 5th grade, I was like, man, F this, I'm out. Right. I was so over education already in 5th grade. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. But no, that's what happens. Even in a 5th grade level, you're supposed to learn through play. This is why they have games and Jeopardy and all that stuff. It's supposed to be way more play. And we've lost that in our education. And having people love learning. So the first step is giving them the foundations to fall in love with literacy again, to fall in love with learning and making it fun again. So I tell people, whenever people ask me like, what should they do about reading? Don't worry about the things I'm reading right now. Don't worry about this book, right? Don't read the educational stuff. Find your genre, right? Find your genre that speaks to your interests, right? Because our education system does not do that all. And so I do a heavy focus on reading for leisure, reading for escapism, because all of this stuff that's going on in our society is traumatic. And some of us can't afford therapy. That's okay. But sometimes we can just get a library card and escape in a book. Sorry,
you're telling me that it's okay that I read manga?
Absolutely. Okay. That is literacy. All right.
Listen, a win is a win. A win is a win in my book. Yeah.
There are so many different forms of literacy that count. Absolutely. That comic books, those are books. That's literacy. And so building that relationship with books again and healing those wounds and learning to love reading again is so pivotal to that. So I tell people, take a year, just find your genre, read your book and delve into a book and escape the bullshit. When you're feeling down, grab a book and just escape and fall in love with the book again. And when you're ready, and that's when you're ready, it's for you to decide, not me, ease into educational things that you want to read, right? Ease into it and read it in your own style, right? I read smutty books. I'm a smutty book reader. That's my fun book, right? And so I read that as my fun time and form of escapism. But and I read those actual paperback. I call these smart books. So I have fun books and smart books. My smart books, I read through audiobook, right? And that's how I make sure I keep a healthy balance of not harming my joy of literacy. Because sometimes reading smart books aren't the funnest, right? But I do want to get the information. So I listen to them through audiobooks to make it more digestible for me. And recognizing that audiobooks are also reading as well.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, for me, I think where we are as a society today, we tend to try to multitask a lot. And like sitting down and just reading is not always the easiest thing to do because you have this that you have to do and you have this that you have to do. And so like, I know that a lot of stuff that I need to consume, it's much more consumable in audio form than me sitting down and actually reading it. So I think that's a huge thing. Okay, Ari, I have 2 more questions for you. And then what we're going to do is start to bring a couple of people up for questions, if you're good with that.
Absolutely.
All right, perfect. So guys, if you are someone that has a question for Ari, get in the box. We're going to start bringing people in just a few moments. So when you get up here, 1, make sure that you are ready and you have a question. And 2, be direct. Don't just come up here to hang out. Make sure that if you come up here, you have a question for Ari, and we will allow that question to be answered. But we're not here to just kind of go back and forth and just hang out. Make sure that you have a question. Last but not least, guys, please, please, please. Ari has been overwhelmingly gracious with her time. So please, please, please make sure we're taking care of Ari. She's at 6.3K coins right now. Let's get Ari over 7K coins. Please, please, let's get Ari over 7K coins. Make sure that you're hitting that follow button. And also, like I said, Ari's pay links are running in the poll in the bio. Show Ari some love, right? I haven't heard Ari say thank you at all. So like, I don't know. Okay, two this for this entire time.
I want to say thank you, Sunshine. Thank you, Sunshine, for the $25 dono, and thank you so much, Indigo, for the $10 dono. I appreciate you. I appreciate you guys so much.
W's in the chat for Sunshine and Indigo. And now, while I appreciate Sunshine and Indigo, what I will say, it feels a little bit more like misogyny. Feels like the gender wage gap, because we've had some men up here, and the men have been getting donos. Like, they've been hitting the men pay links, but for some reason you guys are being, you know, kind of funny with the money when it comes to taking care of Ari. I'm looking at you guys a little weird now. So guys, no, seriously, show Ari some love. I mean, like, being able to get up here and do this and not only spend time with us, but actually putting time and energy and effort in, you know, being a content creator while at the same time being an actual educator. That is not only admirable, but it's necessary. So please, 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 again, Ari's pay links are running in the poll in the bio. Please show Ari some love. All right, Ari. So I have two quick questions. First question is understanding that there's a lot of different spaces and places that people can actually be. I've been in your space, and one of the reasons why I really, really, really wanted to have you here is because I don't think your voice is highlighted enough. I don't think that people hear the things that you have to say, and I think it's needed. That's why, again, like I said, hearing the point that you made about consent was something that made me want to learn more about you and hear your voice more. So this is a two-parter for one, right? Number one, can you explain consent to everyone again? And then number two, can you tell them more about your space and what they get if they come and engage with you?
Yeah, so I actually just taught about consent with my teachers because it's also about unpacking white supremacy and giving children autonomy. Consent starts really early with kids, but they have a new model. So typically when you hear people talk about consent, they talk about fries. There's a new model that I really like. It's called CRISP. So Chris Moore talks about C is for considered. That you considered any potential harm factors or hierarchies present, which is why I really like the CRISP model. So rather than being enthusiastic, which is kind of vague a little bit, and they explain why they shifted to CRISP, being considered talks about understanding that there are gender hierarchies. So is that considered a potential risk factor for someone engaging for you? That there are racial hierarchies? Is that a considered factor that might be a potential risk factor for coercion? Disability, all these different things that are considered. So of course, reversible, informed, specific, and participatory is the last one. And those are the two major changes is C and P. Participatory makes ensures that you were a part of the process, right? Mm-hmm. That you actually were there, actively participating in the decision-making of what's going on. But consent is basically setting boundaries around what is to happen in your space and your body, and whether you agree to those things to happen. If you're consciously there, things were considered, that you can revoke it at any time, that you're informed about those things happening in your space and your body, that it was specific enough, right? So if you consent to a kiss, that you don't consent to something else, right? They can't move to something else without asking you. So it's specific and you participated in the process, right? Are really important. A lack of understanding of consent is why, or the lack of respect of consent. We see this in online spaces. Mm-hmm. is why we see so many violations, sexual assaults happen. And there are actual sexual assaults happening and sexual violence happening in online spaces. People flashing people, things are happening in Roblox. I don't know if anybody's seen all these lawsuits that have been happening with Roblox, the metaverse, all these things. Absolutely, assault is happening online, and people think that boundaries don't need to be respected in online spaces. They absolutely do. You need to respect your content creators. They are still people. They still have feelings. You actually may trigger someone. And PTSD doesn't just stop and happen like for an hour. It can last 5 years or even longer if you throw someone into a PTSD spell. So like, this is actually a very serious problem. But in my space, we unpack that. We unpack misogynistic talking points. I giggle a lot. Because I told you guys, if I don't laugh, I'll cry. So I just laugh at men and how silly and hypocritical their points are, and point out the hypocrisy in a lot of their talking points, especially with the, oh, men are protectors. No, you're not. It's all men. And they come up, no, it's not. I'm like, yes, it is. All men participate in a patriarchal society. And one of the favorite topics that my audience loves is rejection therapy.
What is that? I don't think I've heard that one.
I would invite you to come find out.
Okay.
Surprise.
Okay. I will. I'll say, like when I heard your breakdown of consent, it reminded me of two things. One, or it did two things. One, it challenged my limited knowledge of what I viewed as consent, right? And so it pushed my mind to digging more to try to make sure that not only was I educated on it, but I fully understood it, and I tried to engage in it. But number two, and I said this, it's funny, I was listening to you speak. And as I was listening to you speak, I sent Jeff a text message. And I said, Ari is one of those people. And this happens to me a lot. I like, this is one thing that I love about the spaces that I share here on this app, is I try to put myself in spaces with people who know way more than me. Like I have no interest in thinking that I'm the smartest person in the room or anything like that. And when I hear people who are not only like way more intelligent than me, but give me something to like strive towards, as far as, okay, I need to go learn more about this. Okay, I need to educate myself here and educate myself there. When I heard you speaking, I immediately grabbed my phone and I texted Jeff, and I was like, Ari is one of those people that makes me challenge myself every time I hear her speak. Like the actual way that you provide information is something that I think is absolutely necessary. So I enjoy your space. I enjoy hanging out in your space. I enjoy interacting. And so I think that's such a great thing. All right, guys, FYI, if you have a question for Ari, go ahead and request up. This is my last question, and then we're going to start bringing people in for Ari. So make sure that if you're in the request, that you have a question for Ari. Make sure that you're here, ready, and you have a question for Ari. And guys, listen, we're at 8.2. And you know what I say, if we're going to do it, then we might as well do it. If we're going to do it, we might as well do it. Ari's at 8.2K coins. Go ahead and get her over 10K. Like, why not show Ari the love, admiration, and respect that is absolutely deserved, especially for being here on a Sunday afternoon. So please, 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 guys, take care of Ari. Make sure you hit that follow button, and make sure that you hit those pay links. Hit those pay links. All right, Ari, this is the last thing I have. I want to play a quick game. All right.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to play Date, Marry, Kill. The book version.
Gotcha.
All right. I want you to give us the book that you would date, the book you would marry, and the book that you would kill. And we need to know why.
Okay. Are we going smart books or fun books?
Whichever one. Listen, it's you. You're the one that's got to date the book. You're the one that's got to marry the book, and you're the one that's got to get the book up out the paint. So it's your decision.
Okay. We're gonna go because I really want people to start unpacking their reading trauma and really connect with literacy. So we're gonna go with fun books. I want people to start reading fun books. So you know what? Nope, never mind. It's because they're all dirty. Too dirty. Nope, never mind. I can't even give it because I don't have to explain why, and it's just
You
bad.
do have to explain why.
I can't do it. That one. And we're keeping PG-13. We'll go back to the smart books. Sorry, guys. If you guys want that, I'll give it in the Discord. If I was to kill one of the books I read with our book club, it would be, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So if I were to kill one of the books, sorry, it would be Unapologetic. I was a little angry when I was reading this book, just because I'm a socialist and this was a little Libby to me, a little bit on the Libby side. And especially she talks about basically, I believe in land back, full land back to Indigenous people. And she talks about sharing land with Indigenous people as Black people. I'm like, I don't know if I'm with that. I don't know. When I say land back, I mean land back all the way. Yep. But there were some Libby arguments in here that I didn't really care for too much. Yep. So I would kill this book. Mary, people know this book is like my heart and soul. I always give it. It's gonna be Men Who Hate Women, especially given what's happening right now in our society. I literally talk about it all the time. It's a precursor to this book, Men Who Hate Women. I would marry. I love it so much. And I say this, a massive trigger warning, because it's a great book in terms of knowledge. It's disgusting in terms of the information you find. So if you guys read the book and you guys say, Ari said she loved this, it's not it's just the knowledge that it provides. Okay, there's lots of trigger warning, and I friend it because it's my heart and soul. It's still my guiding star, and I don't know where I would be without this book. It's going to be Bell Hooks's A Woman, which breaks down how patriarchy has harmed Black women specifically, and it breaks it down in different demographics. It starts off with white men, then moves to Black men, then moves to white women, and then says how Black women how we harm ourselves. So I love Bell Hooks. She's one of my favorite feminist authors. And like, she's my support system. I love her.
Yeah. Okay. Listen. Those are 3 different books, and you guys understand why I challenge the people to actually go check them out. And also, I just want to call out the fact, can I just, because someone hit me up in Discord, like, don't censor her, we want to know the books. And I was like, what? Whoa, that was Ari. Ari made the decision. Like, Ari could have said whatever books that she wanted, like, but so anyway, Ari, okay, perfect. So we're gonna go ahead and start getting a couple of people in here. There's a couple of people in the queue, and then we have someone over, I think, on Twitch that wants to actually ask a question as well. So we're gonna start bringing people in here. So guys, when you get in here, please make sure that you have a question and you are ready with your question. Last but not least, guys, we're over 10K right now. Don't stop. I challenge you guys to get Ari. Okay, so this is going to be a big one. I don't think I've ever said this one before, but like, if we're going to do it, we might as well do it. I challenge you guys to get Ari over 15K coins before we finish the live. I don't think you guys can do it. Not going to hold you. I don't think you guys can do it. But like, I'm going to at least, okay, so now you guys are at 12. I still don't think you can get to 15K coins, whatever. So that's the challenge. We'll see. All right. We're going to start with the one person that's over on Twitch. All right. So let's see here.
Shout out to Boss Lady. Thank you.
W's in the chat. Manders, hi, can you hear us?
I can. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, yes. You can hear. Okay, perfect. What question do you have for Ari?
Okay. First of all, thank you, Ari, for everything you've taught me today. It's been amazing. My question is specifically because you did say that you're Puerto Rican, and it's something I've been really curious on for a long time. Sorry, I was just chasing my dogs. I was under the impression that the only reason Puerto Rico was not a state is because you didn't want to be. But somebody recently told me that's not the case and that it's the U.S. government. So can you offer some insight on that?
Oh yeah, no, we don't want to be. We do not want to be. I mean, there are going to be some Puerto Ricans who placate to the U.S., right? Like my grandmother's one of them. And I would just go with it's like old school American exceptionalism ideas. That's what they were born. That's what feels familiar. But I see no positive that the United States has brought to Puerto Rico. Like you can look at Hawaii and what's currently happening to Hawaii. Like literally Bad Bunny wrote a song about look at Hawaii and then you want to do that to us. And they're already actively harming us. So the answer is for me, that's a hard no. If you guys read, I'm gonna give you guys another book, Rick. If you guys have read or read War Against All Puerto Ricans, it gives you Puerto Rican resistance in that. Like the Puerto Ricans had resisted statehood. The United States has tried to make them a state. We have voted against it. And the United States has kind of silenced our voices on that in certain regards, that we've actually asked for our own to be completely annexed from the United States, and the United States won't let us go.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate that answer. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Love you, Santana.
Love you as well. Thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you. Guys, also, I forgot to drop the link in YouTube. So if you're watching from YouTube, that Manders just came up from Twitch. But if you're watching from YouTube and you want to come up, if you have a question for Ari, I just dropped the link. So you can come up from YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, and TikTok. So anywhere that we're streaming, you all have access to come up. Make sure that you actually have a question. And just to take a moment, okay, like you guys thought that you were like flexing. Okay, cool. You guys got to 15K before we finished the live, but we still have more live. So fuck it. You can't do 20. I bet you can't do 20. I bet I'm putting money on it that you can't do 20. So whatever.
Thank you, Angela. Shout out to Angela real quick. And thank you, Sarah, for the donuts. I appreciate you guys so much.
Absolutely.
Oh wow. It's so cute.
Let's go with the Leo. Let's go with the Leo. I think it was sent to the wrong person. But there we go. There we go. W's in the chat for Rye. W's in, okay. You guys are making me look stupid. I see that's what we're doing today. Got it. Jared, what question do you have for Ari?
Santana, you know better than to challenge us. But Ari, thank you for all your hard work. I just want to say that. And thank you for challenging my own thoughts in a recent conversation we had. But as a fellow book lover, I know these is going to bleed into the previous questions. But outside of When God Was a Woman, Men Who Hate Women, and Bell Hooks, what would you recommend for those of us on our path of deconstruction?
Depends on what you want to deconstruct, right? There's so many books out there. That's why I run my Discord the way I do. It's literally just a book space where we have a section for you to post your fun books that you want to share with everyone and your smart books. And we vote on which books we want to read. There's The Minor Revolution, which is on about kids. There's this month where we just voted on reading Black on Both Sides, which is around trans history, Black trans history specifically. You have Feminism for Everyone, who's also by Bell Hooks. You have Angela Davis. There's just so many books out there that it's hard for me to give a rec. It just depends.
I understand. I totally get it. But I do need to dig back into Bell Hooks. We read her in seminary, so I do thank you for all of that.
No worries.
Right. Perfect. Thank you for coming up, Jared. I'm going to go ahead and drop you down. All right, guys, there are a lot of people here, so we're going to try to get through as many people as possible. So when you get in here, please, please, please be ready, be concise, have your question, and then we'll go from there. Also, again, like I said, if you're over on Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, and you want to come up and ask Ari a question, then go ahead and click that link. And I'm just going to say it because I don't care now. Like, whatever. Because now you guys are yapping in the chat. And the one thing that my chat knows is I don't like the chat yapping. And I don't even care if it's the chat yapping at me. Yes, you guys got over 20. I bet you won't get over 30 there. So whatever. Ellie, what question do you have for Ari?
Hello. I actually don't have a question, but I'm here to give a testimony, full transparency, and I will be very brief with it.
No. I'm so sorry, Ellie. I appreciate you so much, but please, 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 guys, respect the boundaries, respect Ari's time. Please, please, please respect what we're doing here. Only come up if you guys have a question for Ari. We want to make sure that not only are we respecting Ari's time, what Ari's doing here today, but also we are appreciating her, and, you know, not doing what you're supposed to be up here doing is absolutely going against it. I love you guys. I appreciate you all, but please, please, please respect the boundaries. Oh, they're trying to make me look stupid again. Whatever. Ari, God dang it. Boss Lady Fun, what question do you have for Ari?
Yeah, I wanted to ask you, the books, right? Like, I try to make myself more of a reader, but it's not always the way I learn, right? So I wanted to ask you, what were your key takeaways that you would tell me and everyone else listening from Men Who Hate Women? Because sometimes that's, for me, the way I learn. Best. Love to hear that.
Key takeaways. There are a lot of videos on the manosphere. So if you guys also like video essays, there are so many YouTube videos on the manosphere. But misogyny is way deeply rooted than you guys think it is. My biggest thing is also you learn so much about TikTok spaces too. It doesn't specifically talk about TikTok spaces, but it does talk about trolling, right? And that trolling is not something innocent, right? We all hee ha ha, but trolling is actually something that's really dangerous and has led to the death threats of Black women, the mass spread of misinformation, bot farms, things like that. So the internet is actually a way scarier place, especially for women and femme-presenting people. Biggest takeaway though, that and basically the conclusion of the book is it talks about addressing these issues, that they need to be addressed, right? The Me Too movement and what happened with that, right? Women coming out and saying the harm that was done to them. And the response was, instead of unpacking misogyny, men doubled down. I was like, well, I just can't be left alone in a room with a woman, right? Instead of actually addressing the issue, which is sexual violence and assault and the lack of understanding of consent and the lack of respect of a consent on top of that. So what do? Is we need to start talking to people like we're doing right now in online spaces, unpacking misogyny, talking to kids about this. So this is where I'm really big on teaching educators about racism. I talk to them about sexism. I talk to them about all the isms and phobias, because it really does, we need to start addressing the youth and how they're engaging in online spaces. Because the way Andrew Tate, Nick Fuentes, and all that stuff are able to reach kids even through Minecraft, and you think that's innocent, right? Even YouTube kids are able to get to the kids and talk to them and give these really disgusting misogynistic talking points to them. It's really important to monitor what your kids are doing online. I don't say to completely block your kids from online. I don't think attrition works, but giving them the foundation to understand what they're looking at, talk to them about misogyny. You absolutely can talk to kids about misogyny. You could talk to them about racism. You could talk to them about all these things and understand how harmful it is, and that harming people isn't nice. It's unkind.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, Boss Lady Fun, thank you so much for coming up. I appreciate you. Not gonna lie, guys, I kind of want to just end the live right now because holy smokes, oh God, Jesus Christ. Oh, you guys suck. Like every time, Ari, so this is just between me and you. Like every single opportunity that my chat gets to bully me or make me look stupid, they fucking do it. All right, whatever. Okay, W's in the chat for you guys. Jeez Louise. All right, guys, we're gonna get a couple more people in here for questions for Ari. So when you come in, make sure you have a question for Ari. Make sure that you are giving her a follow, right? Make sure that you're following Ari. Again, she has an amazing space, an amazing message, and it's so necessary. And continue to show the love, right? Hit those pay links. The polls, the pay links are running in the poll in the bio. Please appreciate Ari. Show Ari some love. Noah, what you got?
What's good, y'all? Majora's Mask or Wind Waker?
Noah chooses violence every single time. Like no. In every single instance that Noah gets an opportunity to speak, he always leads with violence every time.
I was gonna say something worse. I held the real question back because I was gonna ask Bell Hook's son or Kimberly Crenshaw daughter, but we don't need to get into that one. We can do Majora's Mask or Wind Waker because I know CADRE has really bad takes. You feel me when it comes to this?
Violence every single time. Noah leads with violence every time.
You just mad.
Santana, this is grown folks' business. Were you around for Majora's Mask?
Listen, whatever.
Like you and grown folks' business, but yeah, Ari.
Majora's Mask. I already told y'all. Hot take. Ari doesn't like Wind Waker.
Bless you. Well, not liking Wind Waker is crazy, but Majora's Mask is the correct answer. So
it's the only answer. Well, actually, Twilight Princess was the correct answer, but I guess.
What's premise one?
Oh no!
Ain't no way, Noah. Ain't no way.
No, I appreciate the work you do. Much love.
All right, no, I appreciate you. Every opportunity he gets, that's what he does. All right, we're gonna get a couple more people in here for a couple more questions, but we want to make sure that we respect Ari's time. So, like, what? One more after this? Are you good with that?
Oh, I'm cool with it.
Okay, perfect. Maga Cries, hi, how are you?
I'm doing good. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. What question do you have for Ari?
Awesome. So I joined a little late, but I did catch the fact that you educate educators on like racism and stuff like that. I want to know if like educating educators on transgender children has ever come up for you.
That's actually one of our topics. That's actually one of our topics because transphobia is rooted in anti-Blackness. So we cover literally all the phobias and isms. But absolutely, we cover it. We talk about what is gender, how gender was constructed, and where does transphobia comes from. And then so we also give books recommendations to them to also talk about it's okay if a child wears a tutu to school and they're mask presenting, and just because one of our key leading principles for the whole program is all children deserve to be loved, heard, validated, seen, and respected. And as long as you're following those 5 principles, then the kids are in a safe environment, right? And so that means validating if you have a trans child that they're trans, right? And whatever name change, pronouns they want to go by needs to be validated. That's also part of respecting them, as part of seeing who they are as individuals. That's part of loving them as your students, that you need to love their whole selves. So we are very big on loving the whole child, not the parts of the child that you like or dislike, their whole selves. That we help them be safe, right? Because we don't know if their home situation does not allow them to be authentically themselves, but at least in the classroom, I could provide you a safe space where you can be. But absolutely, we do talk about it because kids start to recognize gender and gender identity by the age of 3.
Awesome, thank you. Yeah, that really helps because it kind of touched me personally because I actually had to take one of my son out of school because he is transgender and he was catching stuff from teachers as well. So I just wanted to, it's actually nice to hear that somebody's out there trying to educate these teachers on the rights and the wrongs.
It breaks my heart that you had to do that for your child. I'm so sorry.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. W's in chat from Maga Cry. I think this is the first time that you've ever come up, right? Or have you been on late nights?
when I first found out about you, I was on late nights.
Okay, I
brought
thought
up-
so. I couldn't remember. I was like, okay. Anyway, because I know you're always here. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I'm going to drop you down. I appreciate you.
Y'all have a good day.
All right. Let's grab one more. Let's see here. Hi. What question do you have for Ari?
Yeah. You can hear me, right?
Yes.
Okay. I actually wanted to run an idea by you that I've been pondering for a while, and I just want some outside input.
Is the idea going to be a question?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, yeah. So
wait,
I
you sound
know-
a little unsure.
Sorry. This is my first time on a live.
No. What I'm saying though is like, is the idea going to actually be a question?
I'm wondering just if I'm missing something or doing anything
No.
wrong.
No, but that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying is the idea going to be a question? I'm confused as far as whether the idea is going to be a question because we're looking for a question.
Let's see if I can.
I couldn't get to the soundboard. It wouldn't let me get to the soundboard. Guys, if you come up, please have a question for Ari. Please have a question for Ari. We've done this. I promise you, I want to make sure that we are respecting the boundaries of the live and what we're doing here. And while like I understand engaging with some of your favorite creators is absolutely a wonderful thing, please be mindful of what the purpose of being up here is for. All right. Hi, what's your question for Ari?
Hi, Ari. I was wondering, and if you said this earlier on, I came back late because I had to walk the dogs. But do you have a book from when you were a child that you kind of latched onto that was your go-to, you read over and over and over?
So it was, I can't remember the exact book, but I do actually have a childhood book of mine. I can show you guys. I was always big on fairy tales. Like actually, if you guys can tell, like all my tattoos are Disney tattoos. I have Mickey Mouse on my finger. I was very big on I'm a Disney adult. And that's actually where my reading trauma began. And so when I say healing your reading trauma, it's from experience. Because of all the books they were forcing me to read in school, I had an IEP for reading actually, because I struggled so deeply with it, right? And that's where I see a lot of people get discouraged. They don't feel like they can read fast enough. They feel like they're a slow reader and they can't keep up with the class. They didn't like being forced to read out loud, and they just felt so uncomfortable around reading. But what my mom used to do is she would take me to Barnes and Nobles and she would let me pick any book, literally any book. It could be a cookbook. She just wanted me to grab a book. Cookbooks are reading books too.
Yes, they are. You have the best mama.
And she knew how much I love fairy tales. So she said, what about this one, Sweetie? And so we would pick a fairy tale from this book every night and I would read it aloud to her. And so it's just a fun little childlike twist on your favorite fairy tales like Cinderella and stuff like that. But this one, Dark of the Woods, was a childhood book of mine.
Oh, that's wonderful.
All right.
Yes.
I have a question for you before I drop you out.
Yeah.
What's your beef with me?
Hey, you were threatening us with a good time. What do you want me to do?
Whatever. Okay. All right. I'm going to drop you down. I appreciate you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Ari.
No worries.
All right. So I got one last thing for you, Ari, before we go. Well, one lift that I need from you, and then, we'll wrap this all back around. And I'll say this as well, guys. Again, continue to appreciate Ari while we have her here. Show her some love. And I'm going to fucking win. I bet you can't get up to 40. I bet you can't get to 40 before we end. Yeah, fuck that. Ari, next week, we have Kenzie, which is another member of CADRE. Tell the people, what should we expect from Kenzie coming into Brunch with My Creator?
So if you guys did not know, that's so pretty. They're trying to show you up.
They are. Like, what are we doing? Like, okay, be easy, chat. Holy smokes. I'm sorry, go ahead.
You're good. So Kenzie actually started me on my intersectional feminism journey. She taught me what intersectional feminism was. I started off with her debates, and I literally, actually, she doesn't know this, but I have a notebook of notes I was taking in her lives of like her list of her traits of toxic masculinity and things like that. So you guys are in for a treat. She's really good at doing breakdowns in terms of like wider societal analysis on patriarchy, how patriarchy shows up in like everyday media. Like she's doing a current series on Desperate Housewives. If you guys have watched that show before. So if you guys are any at all interested in things I spoke about with today, content creators like Kenzie started my path. So you guys are in for a treat.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's going to be wonderful. I can't wait. I'm super, super, super excited. Okay. You guys suck. All right. Let's wrap this back around. I want to say how much I appreciate having you here. I seriously mean this when I say that that one of the reasons why it was so important for me to host the collection of you all on Brunch with My Creator is because every single person I've spoken with deserves a bigger platform, deserves a louder voice. You all have so much to say, and I just wish, like, anything that I can do to help amplify you all is something that I've wanted to do. So thank you for coming, spending time, sharing, and doing something that you don't normally do, right? I mean, you actually camming up is a big fucking deal, right? So thank you for all of that. I want to give you the floor. Anything that you want to share with the people, anything that they need to know about, things that you have coming up, like, what do you got?
Okay, well, one, I just want to give a huge shout out to a couple individuals who were there since like the beginning and were encouraging me to speak, because getting on TikTok for the first time is scary. And I did not want to do this. I don't even consider myself a content creator, honestly. I just be talking and yapping. And some people like it. But like Petty was there since day one. Queen, I have to give Hugh, I guess, his flowers, because Hugh's actually why my name is Ari4Education. He used to have a troll. He used to have a troll account named or a Jamal for Jesus troll account. So that's where I got Ari4Education.
Yeah.
But Petty, Queen, Q were really pivotal. Coco, I don't know if she's listening. All of them were really pivotal in starting me off and really encouraged me to keep talking. They said, you know, if you want a platform, we'll help you build a platform. I was like, nah. I was like, I don't want to. But Petty's been there since day one, especially. And so like huge shouts out to them. But overall, I have a Discord, guys, that is completely free to get into. The only people who aren't allowed are Nazis. Fuck you.
So wait, what you got against Nazis? No.
They can get the fucking wall. That's what they can get. But I do have a Discord where it is a space for us to unpack reading trauma. We talk about books together. We meet once a month to talk about the books, and the books that we talk about together, you guys don't actually have to read them. If you're still unpacking that reading trauma, that's what's so different about this book club. You can just sit and listen to the conversation. It's just space for us to be uncensored, to be vulnerable, to connect what we're reading to our real life experiences. And that's why I hold it in Discord, to give people the authentic space and time to do that. So if you guys want that space, I also have pictures of my dogs in there. And things I bake, because I also bake, if you guys did not know. Feel free to join the Discord. Links are in the bio. And also, we do a lot of mutual aid in there. So if anybody needs help, part of Unpacking White Supremacy is asking for help. And in my space, you absolutely can just post yourself asking for help, and I'll boost it and we can get whatever donations we can. But community and mutual aid is how we're going to survive this together. So if you're looking for that space to share books, whether it's a fun book or a smart book, you're welcome to join. But thank you so much for having me, Santana.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you so much, guys. Last call for alcohol. Make sure that we're appreciating Ari. Show Ari some love. Make sure you hit that follow button, because if you don't follow her, you may never see her again, right? And I'm telling you, you will want to engage in her space. It's absolutely amazing. So make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you still hit those pay links, because they're still in the link tree in the bio. And last but not least, make sure you're showing some love and some support. Ari, thank you so much for doing this today. Thank you for coming up and joining us. It was a pleasure, and I feel absolutely honored.
Thank you for having me. Bye, friends.
All right, thank you. There we go. I caught it. Caught it. All right, guys. We are going to get. Let me do this. Boom, 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 boom. Dun 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 dun. Sorry. Let me get them. Let me get them right. How do I add this? How do I do? How do I add? What am I missing out? What am I doing? It's not Greek salad. You're not funny. My wife thinks she's so funny. She's not funny. It's not Greek salad. What did I do? Why can't, hold on. There we go. Add participant. Like add myself. What are we doing? Okay. There we go. There we go. Whew. Jeez Louise. All right, guys. It absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. I'm so happy that we were able to be able to bring Brunch with My Creator to you all today. It's something that I think it's so necessary. It's funny. I was having this conversation, and the conversation centered around like the need for Brunch with My Creator. And there's a couple of different people who have kind of said this, and I appreciate the fact that they do say this. But like a lot of people don't understand, and the reason why the song says what it songs, the song says what it says, is because people don't often think about like the actual creator, the person that's behind the screen, which is a big deal. And so this gives us an opportunity to actually engage as real people, right? And so it's something that I absolutely love doing. And so I'm so happy that I have an opportunity to share some of the people that I just like hang out in their spaces consistently with, right? It's such a great thing. And I'm just so happy that we're able to do it. Also, I don't know why you guys, like, why is my chat like my biggest ops? I don't understand why you guys like bullying me. It doesn't make sense. And you shouldn't do that. You guys should be kind instead of bullying me, because for some reason you guys love putting me in my place. I don't know what that's about, but whatever. Anyway, guys, we're going to get out of here. We're going to call it. We will be back next week. And Kenzie will be on with Brunch with My Creator next week. It's going to be an absolutely amazing one. We will be back. You don't love me, Jody. You don't love me. We will be back this evening. Late Nights with Santana is back this evening. And we didn't get an opportunity to have it last week because technical difficulties. But as you guys can see, not only are we back and better than ever, but we have the ability to do something awesome. So this evening, Late Nights with Santana, we will be back and we will have that panel conversation, but the panel will not be limited only to YouTube. I'm sorry, only to TikTok. So if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on Instagram, and you want to actually join Late Nights with Santana, the panel discussion, you will have the ability to do so. This is no longer a TikTok conversation. You can join the conversation. Late Nights with Santana is going to be at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific this evening. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Late Nights with Santana. We will be back this evening for our panel conversation, and everyone across all the platforms will be able to join. So YouTube, just an FYI, because I didn't forget the chat wars, the great chat wars, right? The great chat wars where TikTok was taking shots at YouTube and talking about how YouTube was in the past while Twitch was fighting for their life. So just an FYI, TikTok chat, you guys got to be nice now, because YouTube chat and Twitch chat will be able to call you out if you're not. Just so you guys know. I didn't start anything, Dwayne. I listen, balls and strikes. Balls and strikes. I'm calling it. No, I'm not instigating. I'm not instigating. I'm saying what it is. I'm just calling balls and strikes. Anyway, guys, we'll be back this evening for Late Nights with Santana, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. It's the panel discussion where if you want to join the conversation, you will get an opportunity to actually join the conversation. I'm so excited to be back this evening. It's going to be absolutely amazing. With that being said, guys, we are going to call it here. So, let's do the thing.
Brunch with my creator, yeah. We're just having some fun. Relax, sharing the moments when the cameras are done. The real you, real love, no filter, no show. Seat at a table, let the world know. Brunch with my creator, can you see? Yeah. It's the human side of the screen. Grab a plate, take a sip, and let's unwind. Tell me what's really on.
Guys, W's in the chat for you. W's in the chat for you. You guys are absolutely amazing. I love you guys. I do. Also, W's in the chat for Ellen for the $5 donation for the great live. I appreciate you. And W's in the chat for Marta for the $20 donation. I love you as well, Marta. You guys are awesome sometimes, like when you're not being bullies. You're okay. Chat. UI. Guys, we're going to get out of here. We'll be back later this evening. We will be back later this evening, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. Late Nights with Santana. If you miss any of these Brunch with My Creators, go over to YouTube and check it out. Oh, something that I forgot to mention. I have now fixed my name across all the platforms. So if you're looking for me on YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, Blue Sky, TikTok, Santana Speaks for You. Santana Speaks for You. I am officially Santana Speaks for You everywhere. And that's a capital U, not Y-O-U, but the capital U. So if you're looking for me on any of the platforms, it's Santana Speaks for You. All right. We're good. We good? All right, guys, we're going to get out of here. Thank you all. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for all the gifts, the likes, the taps, the shares. Thank you for hanging out. I will see you all this evening. I love each and every one of you. And as always,